I won't be able to do turns on this wave. These conditions suck. And let me just wait for another day. Then another day would not come, 2 weeks or 3 weeks flat spell. And I'm like, no, I got to stop this. I got to go. Because I don't do any other activities besides surfing. Mm-hmm. I don't like running anymore.
It's bad for your knees.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a couple times here and there, but not as every day or every week. I usually just do straight workout at home, stretching, just a quick stretch, and then in the board pretty much every day.
You haven't got on the Wave Key program yet?
No.
Are you familiar with this?
I think someone was talking about that. I think so, but I never got it.
I think you should check it out. Brad Gerlach, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's like one of the most stylish surfers and one of the most charismatic as well. Mm-hmm. But he's studied like martial arts and yoga and his father was a professional diver. And so his father helped coach him when he was a professional and always had him analyzing his style, form, and everything. So now he's basically formed like a sort of yoga for surfing. Mm-hmm. And you have these poses, and I think there's like 28 poses in total. And it's like a whole yoga flow, but for surfing. And the pop-up that he does, or the getting to your feet, was so counter to what I grew up and what I've built my muscle memory to. It was just like mind-blowing and seeing a new way of doing it. And I think you would totally
I'll
benefit.
definitely check it out. I'm always up for some new stuff to do to push surfing to the next level.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
what do you think of the surf scene in New York? What is like? Have you ever experienced anything like it community-wise?
I think it's just different. Like really, there's a huge contrast in terms of vibe as well. Like in New York, if we talk about Rockaway, we have a lot of newbies, and it's more friendlier, I would say, in terms of making friends like who would do the same thing with you, trying to learn, and even like it gets crowded. But if you keep your vibe, differently, like be happy, you will have a good time. I know it gets frustrating at some point when it's 50 people, 60 people at the jetty. But there's a way to find your wave. I mean, there are a lot of sandbars, and
it's crazy sometimes to me. I think it's hilarious because there's, especially in the off season, not during summer, there's so many peaks that you could surf by yourself. It may not be the best wave, but shoot, you could be alone if you want to. I'm always amazed, though. A lot of beginners, I'm always like, why are you paddling out at like the main spots when there are mellower waves, even better spots? Like, below 60th Street, I'm always like, why don't people just surf here? Like, this is a perfect beginner wave. Like, this is a great little mellow wave, and there's, not a lot to, you don't have rocks to worry about and all sorts of things. And I'm always like kind of amazed sometimes. Like, everyone just likes to surf together, though. There's that community aspect that I think is really appealing.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is. If it's really uncrowded day and you by yourself at the jetty, there will be definitely someone will come to you.
Yeah.
If you only one between 3 jetties, someone will come next to you.
Always.
But if you go a little bit more east to Long Beach, then there's a little bit, the vibe is chill. And I think the rules applied better. Yeah. And everyone follows etiquette really well. Or New Jersey. I love to go to New Jersey as well.
Well, you're a regular foot, so...
Yeah, but the past, I think 2 swells, it was more east, and there were more lefts. I was like surprised, like, wow, okay. All right, I guess I got to go there. Because I was hunting down the rides. Then I got a little frustrated because within an hour, I didn't catch any ride. It was mostly closeouts. And I'm like, all right, I guess I have no way. Let me get some lefts.
Have you surfed much outside of New York? In New Jersey, like other parts?
Rhode Island. I think it's a hidden gem on the East Coast. Yeah. Don't go to Rhode Island.
What, have you ever been on like a surf trip outside the country or to any other like tropical places?
Yeah. So I traveled to Brazil, Portugal, Costa Rica.
How is it finding like the contrast of surf culture and people in those places compared to what you were used to surfing in New York?
I mean, it depends on the country. And so in Brazil, they catch a lot of waves. I mean, there's now not much chill, like, sitting. If the wave comes, like, it's just whoever is the fastest, they will take this wave. And it was much harder to catch the waves and have a high wave count in terms of that. So if you go to Brazil, just have a little lower expectations. And then for the forecast as well, it's I wouldn't consider as a surf destination.
Yeah.
It was just more cultural, eating good food and more seafood.
Yeah.
And, but they're happy people. They're really happy. And Portugal was chill vibe, for instance. It was... what
part were you in?
So we stayed in Peniche, so Baleal,
Nice.
and I love that area, and and then Ribeira de Ilha. That's my favorite spot. That's
heaven, man. Like, food is great,
food
culture is great,
and it's not
surfers are
expensive
cool.
too in terms
Yeah.
of going to Europe. I think it's a really nice surf destination if you're considering going to Europe. Costa Rica.
It's Costa Rica.
Hands down, the best. Really happy, pura vida every day.
You're like Nasara or
Playa Avianas.
Oh,
yeah,
nice. That's nice.
Yeah,
Sick.
really cool.
What are you riding right now? What are you currently, like, is your go-to at the moment?
So when I consider going out, I usually go by the board that will give me more fun. And the performance aspect is in the back. It's not the first priority.
Yeah.
So I'm not really focused on this. Like, it does kind of kick in sometimes when I feel like, I haven't done too many turns lately. Let me work on this. Then I start to think, okay, let me get this more performance. It depends on the swell. If the swell is weak, usually 6 to 8 seconds, I don't bother really short, low volume boards because I will feel it will be too much work for me. It's not worth it. I would rather have good time, catch wave and ride it and then go with the flow. So I would say if we talk about mid-lengths, I love the new Firewire Sunday, which works really good in weak waves, completely weak waves. When it gets a little bit more powerful, then it's a little bit off. I think it's hard to catch if it's a little bigger as well.
Yeah.
And then I have Album Plasmic 7.2 mid-length. That's the best board. If I would have one board, that would be the one. 7 Plasmic, 7.2 twin fin. Yeah.
Twin fin.
Twin fin.
Nice. Not heels though, right? Like proper, like regular long
upright.
twin fins. Nice.
So, and then if we talk about short boards, I would say that ASIM from Raspberry.
Yeah.
That's my go to.
Yeah.
I took this board in 2 feet 5 seconds. I mean, usually I don't bother with. I just wanted to add to the review like this footage to see how this board will work. Otherwise, I wouldn't even go.
Yeah.
And I caught waves. So this board, no matter what conditions, this will be my go-to. It's my favorite. It's easy to surf and do turns and everything. So I kind of feel like it's. I don't struggle a lot on this board. And then it would be Loveless FM model. That's the next one.
Nice. Before we go, I had one last thing I almost forgot. Quickly, you did a training at the wave pool at the American Dream Mall with Scoot and Surf recently. What was that like? I just want to get that in there really quick. Sorry, because I saw that and I forgot to mention that. That was really cool looking.
That was pretty great. I really enjoyed it. It was mostly reconfirming my mistakes.
Yeah.
And it registered in my head now. Because before I would watch on YouTube and I would see a lot of tutorials how I would have to do things like properly. And I would go on the wave and wouldn't even care. I would forget. Now when I go, everything what Jeff said.
Jeff Anthony of Scoot and Surf.
Amazing coach.
Great surfer too.
He wasn't too critical to me because if we would go that way, we would not there were 20
Fucking
people.
kook, you're blowing it. Do you know how much each of these waves cost? It's about $14 per wave, buddy.
well, now it's in my head now, and I apply it, and I see that it helps, and I know the stuff I need to work on, and it's really, I think in my deep in my head, in my brains, the stuff you told me.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't like, okay. Now it's so different than you. When you go in person to a training session or this coaching session versus you would do at home, or maybe somebody else would tell you like in the war and like, oh yeah, okay, all right, I'll move my arm. It might work, but the next session wouldn't. And now after this night, and when I surf, it's with me all the time. Yeah. Really
well, in the pool, you get to do it over and over, and I imagine they're telling you, and then you can go try it. Yep. Which makes a huge difference because it's repetitive.
Yeah. You can really dial some certain maneuvers. When you go there, you need to really know what you want to work on. In most cases, like if you want to just learn bottom turn, or you want to do snap. You just need to focus on that, because I was kind of a little bit confused. Like each wave I would go, okay, so what would I want to work on now? And I was like, okay, let me go maybe try to get barreled, or a next wave, let me try to do top turn. And sometimes I would mess up and then I would lose the wave. So if you go, you need to really know what you want to work on in most cases.
Well, that wave also really does expose your flaws, I find. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy wave to surf. It's not
easy. It's harder to surf than in the ocean, to be honest. Yeah, you really need to know the wave in general. I would probably suggest go for public sessions first, just to get familiar and catching waves, and then go for a coaching session.
Although I found the right to be especially joyful on my backhand. I was just like, cracked a couple turns that I was like, I can still surf backhand. I forgot what it's like, because in Rockaway, all I do is go left. So,
but they have now a different wave. It's called Playgrounds. Yeah. It's very fun. I mean, it just feels like you are surfing somewhere.
Choppy, wind swelly.
Yeah, wind swelly, like you get a lot of waves, and it kind of keeping really more fun than A-frame. When you wait, it's like everything is just moving, and
you get sucked into the wall.
It's a little sketchy.
you need to put like a little rubber bumper on the back of your board, But yeah, well, I'm stoked you got to do that, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back when opportunity arises. Or when I will be ready.
Yeah, I'm waiting for another one of my rich friends to take me.
Yeah, pretty cool spot to surf.
Where can our listeners find you? On Instagram and YouTube?
Yeah, Instagram, Skipper Surf Review, and YouTube, just if you go and search Skipper Surf Review as well.
Sweet. Yury, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate
thank you for
coming
having
on.
me again. And if you have any questions or suggestions, you can shoot me a DM. Always glad to help. Or if you even have some surf footage, I always tell people, hey, just film quickly your surf. I mean, just like 10-second video can change your surf progression.
Well, Yury, thank you so much again. Really appreciate you coming on, and stoked to have you come on, and stoked to be surfing with you in the lineup.
Yeah, too.
Awesome, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
Giving up, your folks told me you should be left alone on a mountaintop. Knocking the airplanes down with stones to the whirlwind.